Hey everyone, and welcome to Inessence Movement. I'm your host, Paresh Nama. I started the show so I can bring to you the people that motivate and inspire me, because I know success leaves clues. And with those clues, we can ask ourselves better questions and find out who we are in essence. Today on the show, I have a man who has helped change the landscape of small business in New Zealand through the COVID-19 pandemic. He's an entrepreneur, a creative, an innovator, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Had you met him as a kid and seen his upbringing, unfortunately, like many New Zealanders, no one would have predicted the impact he would go on to have. And it would have been fair to say his life should have been completely different. Growing up in state housing and being a cancer survivor, he understood life is hard, but through that he miraculously built emotional agility, sensory acuity, intuition, self-awareness, and a high EQ. And with that, he birthed his latest brainchild, Manaaki. Having lost $750,000 in 72 hours of fraud work, and with investors pulling out, and being left with only 90 days of financial runway prior to the first lockdown, he and his team got to work. Working around the clock, he and his partners gathered their Rolodexes and built a community of 189 advisors to develop this platform, which is a digital helping hand for small businesses to grab. All within 7 days from conception to go live a day before lockdown. A truly purpose-driven company built with love and compassion. He is a co-founder of ChooiceNZ, Indigo, and Manaaki. He is Pat Macfie. Pat, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for being on the show, and thank you for allowing me to come into your space and film here.
It's all good, man. I got a little bit emotional when you were reading that out. I was like, holy shit, that's true, man.
I do hours and hours of research before I do any one of these interviews, and just the amount of times out loud, I was like, what? He did what? And then he did that. It's an incredible, and it's truly an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you, bro. It's just an honor to be here with you. I love the opportunity to just connect with good humans like you that are out there just trying to make a difference, and that's all we're trying to do. So
we spoke a little bit before we hit record, and we talked more about business then. I want to take it a little bit differently. I want to talk about Pat the person, the human being.
Yeah.
And look, Pat, 2020 was a year of reflection for many people. It gave them chance to slow down, reflect on what's truly important. And I'm sure with Manaaki and everything that you've got going on, it's sort of been a whirlwind of just non-stop go for you from conception to today. Have you had the chance to slow down, reflect, and if so, what have you learned for yourself and for your business?
Yeah, I haven't had the chance to reflect.
No?
No, not at all. The cause and the fire that burns in all of us here compels us every day into just massive, consistent action. And the problem's not getting any smaller. And so it means that we need to bring the same energy and attitude and commitment and desire to every single day. So I haven't had the chance to genuinely reflect. Sometimes I sit back for a second and just be like, what the fuck? I know how we did it, and I know how we got here.
Yeah.
But I've had the opportunity to see and have done a lot of things in my life, and have seen a lot of other people come and go and succeed and then kind of disappear, or have a gift and have a moment and not leverage that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's kind of like Eminem, man, this is our moment. So we lose ourselves in this moment. We're just still go.
Yeah. In those moments of where you take a step back and say that to yourself, do you realize the impact that you've had?
No, I don't think so. Not fully, because my life has changed. I went out over the Christmas period with a group of friends, and then people were coming up to me and just going, "Oh, Manaaki," and I was just out, and I was like, "Holy crap! Who are these people?" And they're like, "Oh man, thank you so much for what you guys have been doing." And I'm like, "Oh, awesome! Yeah, it was really cool." But I was like, I'm kind of half pissed in this club, and I wonder what I've been doing, and how I've been acting, and I'm like, holy crap. And like, so life has changed like that.
Yeah.
I remember I was just down at Orake Basin, and I took some time just to spend some time with my son towards the end of last year as he prepared for the Wakaama Nationals. In Orake Basin, I don't know if you know it, but there's kind of like a walkway that goes alongside the waterway. So I'd ride up and down there on my bike, and I'm just like yelling motivation at my son while he's training.
Yeah.
And this lady just walks up, she goes, "Oh, Manaaki." Well, I'm going like, "Come on, man, push harder, push harder." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." She goes, "Love what you guys are doing." I was like, "Oh, okay." And I just been kind of 2 seconds earlier kind of swear urging my son on. And so I really don't, but I kind of do. I don't know if I, like, so much of what we do is about metrics and understanding impact that we're having as a business. But when people, humans, come up and acknowledge the work that you've done,
It's the best.
it freaks me out though. Like, yeah, I'm a kind of an extroverted dude in my circle, but not out into the world. Like, I'm kind of private out in the world. So, look, I'm not complaining, because if we can take a moment to acknowledge those people acknowledging us, and that helps somebody down the chain inside of what we do. Because I gave that lady a thumbs up, and she then jumps on the platform or directs one of her mates to the platform, or wants to offer some advice, or just goes out and pays that energy forward.
It's growing the community and perpetuating your goal, really.
Yeah.
What's the importance of being a purpose-driven company first, and then a purpose-driven individual? If you can speak to that.
Well, so much of the world is fucked.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a purpose that's greater than your bottom line, and there's some companies that are in it for that, but to tie that back to me, I've got to live for something greater than just money. And coming from the background that I've come from, which was just abject poverty, right? I lived in a garage with a dirt floor the size of this corner. Now we're sitting in our studio, freaking huge.
And it's beautiful as well. I saw the office a little earlier, and it's incredible what you've built here.
Yeah, and we'll continue to do it, but this is not as a result of me trying to accumulate stuff. This is a result of our company and our business being highly focused on helping small businesses to, number one, survive, then to get back on their feet, and then to be able to, for those entrepreneurs, be able to self-actualize. Because when you get into business, you purposefully choose not to participate in the system that most people are participating in. You choose to self-determine. And that's very personal. That's very personal. Not everybody wants to get rich, bro.
Yeah.
That's true. That's just because they want a degree of freedom in their life that the other thing doesn't offer. And so when that freedom, the ability to be able to feed, clothe, support your family is virtually extinguished, like, that's a dark place, because I've been there myself. It's a dark, dark place. And I don't know, do you have children yourself?
Yeah, I've got two.
What can you imagine, like, someone just going, "Bro, your source of income, it's gone. I'm taking it away. You can't have it anymore. As a matter of fact, you're in debt now, so you owe me. And here's just like letters every day to remind you that you owe me. I'm gonna take you to court, I'm gonna do all this." Like, that's bad, bro. That's really bad, and that's the reality that so many small businesses were faced with, and it's only because I've been there and I can empathize with that we're compelled to go, "Nah, fuck, we ain't going out like that. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die like a hammerhead shark. I'm not just gonna go out like just floating away like the old stingray, as the old whakatoki goes, And so that's what it was about. That was going, okay, we may die in the pursuit of this, but fuck, at least we go down trying to make a difference, trying to help ourselves, and in that maybe we can help some other people. Well, it turned out we helped hundreds of thousands of people, but we were never trying to build a platform to help hundreds of thousands of people. We just wanted some place where people could go get hope, then follow that up with practical advice, and then do something in their life to help them retain that special element of self-determination and actualization that they started business for in the first place.
Yeah, that's so incredible, and I found myself holding my breath there just because I was so engaged in what you were saying. And that you're an incredible human being. I just have to tell you that firstly.
Bro, thank you, God.
But also, when I think about you and the time I spend in researching you and just hearing you speak now, I can only think of you as an unreasonable man, and I'll explain that. George Bernard Shaw said, "The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable man persists in adapting the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man."
Yeah.
And to go from a 3-bedroom state house with 15 people, 12 of those being kids, you said you
Fighting over a box of Weet-Bix, bro.
fighting over a box of Weet-Bix. You said you saw
Love
people.
my cousins though. Love my cousins.
Yeah, but you'd always fight them for the Weet-Bix though.
We got to fight.
And you said you saw, people on your street were getting shot, people on your street were dying, and then having
raped.
and going on to have
My
what I
friends
can.
fucking drowning.
Yeah.
Like nobody, like kids, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah. And then years later, you go on to have an experience where you bump into a friend by a chance encounter, right?
Yes. Jason Otani.
Which is incredible, and to a point where you saw him, he was living in poverty, he was dirty.
Worse than poverty, bro. He
so-
was really bad.
He was so drunk that he thought you were attacking him. All you wanted to do was
He thought
give
I
him a
was going to
hug,
beat him up.
which is incredible. So my question is, how does little Patches from Hamilton go on to be Pat Macfee?
Yeah. That's a big question, bro. That's a big question. I always quite emotional to talk about actually.
Mm-hmm.
But like my life has been a series of massive highs and deep, deep lows. And there's probably like a million good reasons that I should not be here right now. I probably should have taken my own life at some stage. And not to make light of that, but the depth of darkness and despair that I felt in some of those places, I would be lying to say if that hasn't run across my mind several times.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that I've never lost a hold of was my imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can have possession of your mind and that one thing, that creative spark, that creative spirit, at least that can offer you a gateway or a window to escape through the reality of your surroundings. So I remember like when we moved to that neighborhood in Hamilton, in Norrie Street, and I remember like looking up at a plane as it was flying by, and for no reason and with no like experience in my life to ever indicate that I could own a plane, I'd be like, one day that plane will have my name on it.
Mm.
And I would see people on TV and I'd be like, one day I'm gonna know that person and they're gonna be my friend. And I never lost that for some reason, the ability to be able to dream. And for so many young people, that gets crushed. You begin your life as a young person, as a creative genius, as somebody filled with dreams and aspirations. I can't tell you what the quality in me was that enabled me to hold on to that ability to be able to dream, but somehow I did. And that became a belief after a while. Because I used to dream so much, I started to believe in my dreams. Yeah. And it's funny. And as I focused on them, I started thinking of ways that I could make them happen. And once I moved into the practical process of going, how could I do that? I kind of became obsessed with it. Mm. And I looked for clues in everything. So the first job that I had when I was just a youngster, 12, 13 years old, was washing dishes in the Cobb & Co.
Yeah.
At Taupo. And we have like 300 to 500 people coming through a night. And there's like a 12-year-old,
By yourself?
the only dishwasher,
Wow.
washing. There's like 200 plates, bro.
Yeah.
So the plate's got to go through 3 times
Yeah.
the whole time for everybody to have a plate to eat on.
Sure, yeah.
But what that gave me was an extraordinary understanding of process. If the waitress doesn't take the order, bring it to the grill chef reads it out, and then people cook the food, and then there's no plate, then the service doesn't get delivered.
Yep.
But I understood in detail after a number of years the entire process. And what I found out is that process is a secret. Like there's gold in process, in the detail of process, because a world-class process and an average process, those two things, they turn out much different value propositions. And so I became obsessed with understanding the process and the detail.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just look for that in every aspect of life. And then what I've found is a series of patterns that are based on process. And my life has been so diverse that I've been exposed to everything from criminal processes to entrepreneurial processes, which are actually pretty close. There's only a thin line between them.
Yeah.
Everything from the process to turn out a Cobb schnitzel with salad and fries, to the process to do this, to do this, to do everything that we do today. And I think that's the thing. But I've been able to fully resolve and reconcile my creative self with my pragmatic and process-driven self. And that's what makes me different. That's why I can get results.
Yeah, and there's very few people who can do that. Very, very few people. You talked about children or kids losing the ability to, or have lost the ability to dream. Is there a universal process to teach kids how to dream?
I don't know, that's one thing I'm working on right now. They know how to dream. We just got to keep them connected to their dreams and got to help them turn their dreams into reality, into a version of reality, because we can't all be spacemen, right? But just step it back from there and have a look at the process. We could be someone in mission control. We could be somebody that's running one of the computers in mission control. We could be the guy that pumps the tires on the vehicle that pulls the rocket out to the to the launch pad. Like if you look at the process, there's actually a place for so many people in the business of space exploration, which is so exciting, but what the guys are doing here, and it's the same for everything. So if we can capture, preserve, and enable the dreams into tangible versions of reality for young people, I think that's so much more compelling than going, yo hope, here is a finite number of options for your life. You have a propensity towards these types of skills, so you could be any one of those things. Hooray, celebration. Like that's the system, because the prevailing system dictates the opportunity in the world. That's what it was. It was the industrial age. They were turning out people, like they created public schools so they could have more people to work on production lines. And so technology is the dominant force. We're in the age of technology right now. And so we're turning out more and more people to be the blue collar workers, like coders, of the technology age. And so those are the kind of systems we talked about just while we're off camera. Like, how do you change the system from inside? I don't think you do. Too hard. Create your own system, play on your own terms.
Yeah, but when education is the biggest system out there, what do? I want to take a sideways step here, and education is probably one of the most broken systems that we've got. How do we can't say that we go and develop our own system there.
Why not?
Why hasn't anyone done it?
I don't know. We'll have to ask
you
the
haven't
people
got-
that are dealing with it. I don't know.
Because you haven't got into it yet.
I'm not going to put that loftier mantle on myself, but it's broken.
Yeah, because
So look at it, bro. Look, let's just talk about that for a second, right? Like my own people, Māori people, we top all the negative statistics for unemployment, for incarceration, for obesity, for participation in tertiary education, for gaining the qualifications to participate in tertiary education, for finishing fucking high school. Like, we're the champs of that shit.
Yeah.
That system has not changed for decades, and it's getting the same outcome. So you want us to, like, we're going to change it by 5 degrees and it's going to be different? That's not going to be different, bro. It has to fundamentally be replaced. Because it's fucked. You just said it.
Yeah. Who does that start with?
Starts with you. Starts with me. Starts with her. Like anything. It starts with a decision, and it starts with one person taking action in their life. If you agree with it and you think it's fucked, do something about it. If you're just going to stand on the sideline and not do anything, cool. You just subscribed your life to be that. And that's you, and for whatever reason, you choose to live like that. I'm not bagging on you, but that's your lot now. There's certain facts and truths that come with it. And my version of that is like, there's massive risk associated with me trying to perpetuate that system. But like I said, fuck, bro, I'm gonna die in pursuit of some shit. I ain't just gonna, like, I'm in a position to do something. I'm just not gonna waste my breath on blowing wind that, ooh, that's so bad, oh, that's so rubbish, she's so rubbish, he's so rubbish.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. What does that do? Nothing.
Yep. That's a vicious cycle though, right? Because the people that are in the system, so locked into the system, need to be able to get out of the system, to think differently, to be able to go ahead and go and change the system, or even question the people that can change the system. And that's why I said there's people, very few people like yourself, who are so unreasonable in the sense that they can think outside of that.
That's the thing, like, you nailed it on the head. And it's basically what I described as the reason why I'm different, is the ability to be able to think.
Yeah. Outside
Like,
of that system.
Yeah. Or just think, like, why do I have to accept this? Ask yourself questions. Why is it like this? When you begin to ask those questions and you inquire, you begin to understand, and then you can make informed decisions for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, we're indoctrinated into a system, and that system tells us, like, this is success, right? And this is how you should think about these things. Well, for bros like you and me, that system's not set up for us. That system is set up for the people that dominate that system, which is not. We are disadvantaged by that system. People don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. Because of the color of our skin and because of our ethnic background. That system, like every system, is designed to work it for the benefit of somebody, right? Every system. If you're ordering a fucking McDonald's hamburger, the system is to the benefit of you, the purchaser, so you can purchase your cheap, consistently tasting good burger all of the time. So all of those systems are set to benefit people. But when you look at the stats, and I'm not even being a radical, I'm just going, look at the data.
Yeah.
The data tells us the system does not work. So why does the system prevail? Why is the system consistently still here? It doesn't work for those people. But, you know, getting shit done is hard, bro. It's really hard. And I think that's the real question. Like, how do you build your own system? How do you enable it? Like, how do you wage war against that prevailing system? When it's actually, and that's the fearful part, and that's a bit that people get confused about, is that, you know, people that are much more powerful than us, more influential than us, make those decisions that determine, you know, who can play and how they participate, and things can be shut down overnight. Smart initiatives, incredible people, just by a phone call to the right person, or to the right pressure, or to the right media channel, or to the right. And so I understand, knowing all those things, why the system doesn't change, bro. Yeah. And that's the reason why. When you ask, why hasn't it changed? Because that's why. It's fucking extraordinarily difficult.
Yeah.
It's extraordinarily difficult. And it's not even like, I just want to stop talking about myself. It's about the group of people that you gather around you that are equally as committed to your vision and your dream, you know, your collective vision and dream, to make that change in the world. And like, they don't all come in like that. They don't come in like some of them just looking for a job, and that's all good. But when you come in here and you feel what we're about, you'll vibe with it or you won't. And if you don't, you'll be gone. We won't fire anybody, but you just like, oh, this place is crazy.
Intense, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that guy's crazy.
Yeah.
So you have to, as a leader, be cognizant and aware of how you bring people on that journey with you. Don't know if I answered the question.
No,
you asked,
absolutely,
but-
you did. On that, as a leader, being aware, how did you develop your self-awareness? Because it seems to me, looking from the outside, you're incredibly self-aware. How did you develop that? Is there what's your process?
I don't know, bro. On the street, through failure. If you're going to achieve anything in life, whether it's just walking down the dairy to get a bottle of milk, or creating a platform like Manaaki or like Choice, or like Small Business Day coming up in a month or so, you have to be aware. I went to university. I went to Auckland University. I didn't last long. I'm a dropout, and
Same.
but I went to one lecture, and it's the only thing that's really stuck with me. And it was kind of the thing that kept me there for a little bit longer, and it was around communication. And there's this one lecturer, I don't even remember what he said, who he was, but he said the quality of your relationships is determined by the quality of your communication. And I think that's just it's a massive, massive key as a leader and as somebody that wants to create change. Because if you're not communicating in the way that that person needs to be communicated to, because you're different, Hope's different, PJ's different, then it's not going to resonate. They won't connect to it. So you have to have self-awareness just to be able to communicate.
Yep.
And if what he said was true, that the quality of my relationships is dictated by the quality of my communication, that means I have to be ultimately aware of my communication so I like, if someone asks me what my superpower is, it's I can sit in a room and I can listen to like 4 different conversations at once. I can process them all while they're happening, and I can talk and process and all those conversations at the same time, because I've fostered that ability and that to be able to listen, and then to be able to be aware of the information that I'm receiving, and then communicate at the same time to different groups of people or different individuals in the same room in a way that will speak to them but speak to everyone.
Yeah. So interesting, but I don't think you answer the question. I mean, you answered the self-awareness question, and the next question has to be, how did you learn, or where did you learn your communication skills from?
Just like on the street, bro.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Just like, I'm walking down the street, I see a big gangster boy coming towards me. I know that if I put my head up and I look at him the wrong way or any way,
It's game over.
he's going to smash me. That's communication. Like that, as a real brutal example of it, right? Like social situations that I grew up in, where the line between social celebration and violence is really, really thin and can change
So
in
you
a
have to learn
moment.
it really quickly, or else.
Bro, you have to like perceive what's
Yeah.
happening around, and like know when shit's gonna go bad.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of like that observation, because that communication is the, like, input is information, output is communication.
Sure,
Yeah, and so like it's that input of info
Yep.
and data
Yep.
that enables me to be able to communicate. But so I learned that's what I mean on the street. Like, and to be able to see a situation unfolding, and that's the same in business, because you see, like, when you come up tough, like you see the best and the worst of humanity. It's like Once We're Warriors. I hate that fucking movie because it's just so real.
Really, yeah.
And 1 minute everyone's kissing and laughing and hugging, and the next minute poor lady's getting the shit beat out of her. Like, That's all about communication, bro. When you see all those ranges of personalities, when you come into the business world, business people are simple, bro. It's like way simpler than the complexities of the street. Way, way simpler, bro. You're just about money, and you're about your ego, and you're about your position. And if I massage these things, you're my friend.
Yeah.
And if I threaten those things, you're my enemy.
Yeah.
Well, that's 101. The problem is that half of the gangsters haven't been able to interpret that into legitimate business. And like, I'm not talking down about any of that, but that's just how people's lives roll out. It's how you and where you get to apply your thing. And I've just been lucky in a lot of regards, like lucky to be alive. So.
Yeah, I know you have your foundation. What do you call it, foundation?
Yeah.
Is that you giving back and you're trying to go back and teach that sort of thing too?
Yeah. Because I don't really believe in the educational system.
Yep.
And it's not an educational scholarship. It's a scholarship that identifies a person that has incredible character, like Lachey Edmonds, who was the first recipient.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you know her story, but Lachey lives independently. That means she raises herself. She lived last year in a hostel situation. She pays for her own school fees and her own transport and her own food and everything.
Yep.
Because she works in the supermarket immediately after school until closing time.
Wow.
Pays for her bus fare to get out to her, like she supports herself, and she's a solid student. She could be an exceptional student if she was offered and afforded all the other luxuries that, just normal shit, but she's not. But like when we applied, and her application made me cry, man. I'm like, holy heck, and she's so humble, and it's like hard to get her to take help. But the thing where she broke me was she's like, she said, I had accepted that like I wasn't going to be able to go any further in my life. But when I saw your scholarship and what it was for, I felt like it just gave me a chance, just gave me hope that I could do this. And I really believe that she would have gone on without it, because she's just got such exceptional character. Yeah. But to be able to not only just give her the grant, but to connect her to incredible humans that are now helping her on her journey, it's amazing. Like, we have to give back. We have to go back to those places that were transformative in our lives because of the very unique circumstances, that an environment that existed inside of them, and try to help people to just get that little hand up that we maybe had not. Yeah. I was talking to one of my bros, hadn't seen him for years, and he just popped up on Facebook. He'd taken himself off social media, so he was talking through his wife's Facebook account on Messenger. Like, hey bro, it's me. Saw that stuff you did back down in Melville. I was like, that was awesome, bro, because we were at that school together.
Right.
I told him what we were doing, and I told him about our why, and I told him that it's about, we were so full of hope, and we had dreams, and not all of us got to live them. And so this was about, like I said to him, it's about helping those kids that were like us, bro. That's what it's about.
It's incredible.
I don't want to act like it's part of a grand plan, though, bro. Like, I literally decided to do that just like on a whim.
Yeah. Well, it seems to be working for you. So.
Yeah.
What does success mean to you? What does it look like?
Change. When I was young, it was about money.
Yep.
When I'm now in my life, it's about people.
Yep.
That's it. Success is about helping and enabling people to live the life that they desire, or show them a way out of the circumstances that they're in to live the life that they aspire for. That's success. I used to wonder why, like, all my heroes were I watched Gandhi, the movie, right? What was his name? Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
Sir Ben Kingsley.
Sir Ben. Sorry, Ben. Sir Ben. Like, I watched that movie, just a small man. I know it's not an accurate depiction of his life. I don't know what it is. It's definitely a Hollywood version, but that that man, his diminutive stature, but the amount of power and influence that he held by putting the hope of others ahead of his own. And like all those people, whether it's MLK or whether it's Malcolm X or whether it's Mother Teresa, or whoever it is, those people really, really inspire me. Yeah, I dream that one day in my life can be measured in the same type of manner. Not that I will ever do anything like they have done, that level of impact, but that's how I would measure success.
Well, I think you're having incredible impact, so.
Thank you, bro. Like I said, I'm not really aware of it, but it's only when I get a chance. Like, this is reflection for me. Like, I haven't had this conversation with anybody, so this is reflection for me.
Do you read?
Nah.
Audiobooks? No.
I buy a lot of audiobooks, and I buy a lot of Kindles, and I read a lot of prefaces. That's about it.
Okay.
The last book I read was Seed of the Soul by Gary Zukav. You know that book?
No, I haven't read that one.
Amazing book. Amazing book. That was transformative for me.
So that confuses me even more, that the thing that is Pat Macfie, because I'm a big believer in input, right? So all these people that you've mentioned, I've been studying them for years. I read a lot, all through audio. I can't read a physical book. I'm very kinesthetic person, so I need to be moving, otherwise I fall asleep. I can't remember the last time I've watched a movie at full in the movie theaters because I just fall asleep. So I'm always, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, I'm always absorbing all of this stuff. But then for you to say that you're not reading, I'm guessing you watch videos and stuff like that.
If not really.
If not, then you're more of a mystery than
Life's a book, bro. Like, I don't need to read a book to understand what's happening in life. I just need to walk around the street, see people, talk to people, go down into the hood, go back to Whatawhata, talk to people here, observe, listen. Like, life's a book, bro. I don't need the insight collected and condensed into something to, like, I know there's incredible lessons in those books. But I'm a bit like, I probably wouldn't get through it anyway, bro. Like, it has to, like, really capture me. That's why that's the last book that I read.
Yep.
But that was maybe 4 years ago. But, like, there's so much that's just around us. And I'm not knocking reading books, absolutely. I think it's an incredible practice. That's why heaps of people are much smarter than me, because they're really good at reading books and then taking tests and, like, doing stuff. But that's just not me. That's just not me. I didn't. I used to read like, like not like any great depth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will, if I want to learn about a subject though, I'll go. Yeah. But then when I get to this, like, okay, there's somebody that's an expert in this. Yep. Then I'll just stop there.
Yeah, that's you. The mystery of Pat Macfie and his success just continues to deepen. So thank you. On the flip side of success, what does failure look like to you?
Failure is to not be there as my children grow, to not be a positive influence in their life. Failure is to sit by and let bad people do bad shit and not say anything. There's so much that we let just slide. You know, I think if we actually, one thing that I think I have a lot of tolerance, but one thing that I struggle was when people tell me they wish they had said something. Oh, you know, and they said this, and then I said, did you say that? And they go, nah, but I wish I did. And I'm like, man, your life would be different if you just said what you had in your heart and in your mind to say.
Is that something you always do?
It's something that I've learned to do, because so much gets transmitted and enabled in the detail of communication that you have to really listen, because if you don't check some shit that goes by, that's that could be just like number 999 little cut on the way to the 1000th cut that kills you. And so people who know me, my business partners, people that I interact with, they I don't know why they keep on trying, but they try. They'll be like, da 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 da, and they'll try to hide a detail and just like rattling off a list of shit. I'll be just like, well, did you go back?
Is there anyone you want to call out in particular? Or?
No. Sometimes I don't call it out, but I know. But I don't wish that I'd call it out.
Yeah.
I just know.
Yeah.
And so.
I'm sure they know you know as well.
Yeah, they do, but good on them for giving a nudge. Yeah, but I just think like, if you don't call it, then that's not their bad, that's your bad. Yeah. So, and like you said, unreasonable. Like I said, in all the work that we do, I always talk to our team, like, don't compromise. Nothing great ever came from creatively, in our creative pursuit, from creative compromise.
Yeah.
It's black, it's white, it's black, it's white. No, we're gonna make it gray.
Yeah.
Gray? Don't compromise. I don't. Like, I know that there are compromises that people arrive to when, there are human lives on the line, and that's very different. But in my personal life, if it's a belief or if it's something that we stand for as an organization, until the facts and the data accumulate to tell me that this is the case otherwise, I'll stand on that.
Nice. I get chills every time you start to speak, and just you are
a few holes in the roof above you, bro.
You are an incredible human being, and I wish I could spend all day with you, but I want to be respectful of your time. Before I ask my last question, I've got a little segment that I call, I don't know what I'm calling it yet, but I think I'm going to call it 5 for 5. So basically it's a list of 5 questions, and the number of questions is the number of answers that I need from you. So question number 1, I need 1 answer. Question number 2, 2 answers, and so on and so forth.
I didn't do well at math at school.
It's okay, I'll walk you through it. So question number 1, give me one of your favorite quotes.
You can lose belief in everything else in the world, but never lose belief in yourself. Yeah.
Nice.
That is my dad.
Your dad? What was your dad's name?
Eric. And he had not been a part of my life, and he was not a big part of my life. But besides that, he was an absent father.
Yeah.
Still good advice.
You got to take it where you can get it from, right?
Wherever. Yeah.
Question number 2, 2 goals for 2021.
2 goals for 2021. I have so many, but I'm just trying to pick 2. I think number 1 would be to help 2 people with my foundation this year.
Yep.
I did 1 last year. I just think that's just like personal accountability in action. You say you're going to do something, like help 1, help 2. Doesn't have to be huge all the time. And number 2, just continue to be, hopefully, a good dad for my kids. All the stuff is just stuff. Those are my biggest.
That's what really matters.
Yeah. I'd like if it's not like if I'm not impacting the lives of people and my children, my own family,
yep.
Like this stuff doesn't matter.
Okay. Question number 3, characteristics. So 3 characteristics of a successful person.
Mongrel.
You got to define that.
Mongrel. Gee, that's hard to define.
Is it grit? Is it not giving a fuck? Is it?
It's more grimier than grit. It's like Yeah, how would you, no one's ever asked me to define mongrel. Like you think of like analogies like a mongrel dog, right? And they're bits of everything. And so they're far more resilient than a normal dog, and less susceptible to virus and disease, and they're just like tough as an old boot, you know what I mean?
Yep.
There's a quality in them that makes them virtually impossible to destroy. And in your effort to destroy them, they will exact a toll from you on the way through, and you will probably not be successful.
Yep.
Mongrel.
Love it. We're going to add that to the dictionary.
What was that? What did I say? So
Mongrel.
I said mongrel. I said self-belief, because that's the quote. And
Yep.
do I have to give you three?
3.
Love.
Love.
Love. Like if you don't have the capacity to love, then I don't believe that you can really like do something truly meaningful. Like if you can't find, even in the worst bloody person, you know what I mean, or in the situation, or in the midst of the darkness, like love, man. Yeah.
Number 4 things that you're grateful for.
I'm grateful that I have a wife and I have 2 children. Because kids also, my children are IVF children. Because when I got cancer, I pretty much lost the ability to have children. But I was really lucky, bro, because when the operation that I had and they removed my testicle, and then when the scar tissue healed, it healed over one of the tubes that releases the sperm and stuff. And because of the treatments that I had, everything was pretty much nuked down there anyway.
Yeah.
But then they did a biopsy into my remaining testicle, and I had these millions of sperm, right? And they found like 12. And they pulled them out, and they're like viable sperm. And it was those 12 viable sperm that they then fertilized with my wife's egg, and then 8 made it through to the stage where they're able to be stored.
Yep.
And then 3 developed to be like fully divided and the most viable.
Yep.
And so we put in the first one, and that's my son Kanoa. The second one, unfortunately, that was unsuccessful, and the third one is my other boy Hawaii.
Nice.
So it's really, I have no legacy of my own in my bloodline if it's not for that.
Yep.
So that's the one thing that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my life, bro. Fuck, it's been ups and downs and hard, but I don't know if I'm the same dude making the same impact if I haven't lived that life. So I'm grateful for that.
Yep.
I'm just grateful to be in the position to help these people that are part of what we do. And I always say this to somebody, particularly Maori, Polynesian, people of other ethnicities, indigenous peoples. When I reach out, and just like doing this, like this for me is just part of a central belief that I have, that we all rise. Like we all rise. I come up, you come up, bro.
Yeah.
I eat, you eat, we all rise. And that level of unity, I think, if we can perpetuate greater levels of unity in each other, when you go up, when you blow up, grab that bro, grab that sister, grab this person, let's go.
Take them with you.
Fuck, we all rise, we all rise,
for
we all rise.
Yep.
Is that,
One more.
What's the subject again?
What you're grateful for.
Oh, grateful, yeah. And I'm really grateful for the ability to think different, just to see the world different. I know that the perspective that I have is unique, and I'm thankful that I've cultivated that ability to be able to think in my life.
Yeah. Nice.
Otherwise, I'm nowhere.
And the final one, before I ask my last question, is just to lighten the mood a bit. 5 of your favorite artists. They could be in music, could be in the art world, could be just 5 of your favorite artists.
There's a couple that I vibe with recently, New Zealand artists here. Zoe Hall, and she's got 2 big works in the room next
murals
door.
in there?
Yep, she's really cool. I love the powerful depiction of wahine that she does. There's another bro, Paura, from Paura's Prince. Got to go check out his mahi. He does these really cool collage things. So those, he's amazing. So other artists, I think I like young Kanye.
Yep.
Man, I thought that dude
Not
was,
into his new stuff?
I'm just not into him.
Yep.
But young Kanye seemed like he was actually going to change the
Change
world
the
if he was
world,
going to
for
be
sure.
that dude
Yeah.
still. But then it's all keeping up with Kanye and it all got twisted and went a bit wrong.
Yep.
I love the bro, shucks, what's his name? Warren Maxwell, local recording artist. He's just got a beautiful, soulful voice that does it for me. I love him. And then last one, just trying to think of an artist that I really vibe with. Musician. Oh yeah, I got to shout out to my boy Machi Walters, man.
Love 660.
Oh, I just got so much respect for those. Not only are they just an epic group, but just like their whole approach to the music business is amazing. Like it's a business for them.
Yeah.
And like they got it on lock, bro.
Yeah.
You know, when they getting the mother's cut on the bar and on the merch and on the tickets, and they pick and choose who they do their albums with, and then they just create this amazing music.
Yep.
Like that's the model that I think all young aspiring artists should follow.
Yeah. I watched the documentary or the movie recently, and it's incredible.
So good, eh?
So good.
Yeah. Bro had a big, do you reckon he had a big head when he was young? Like his head was
He
disproportionately large to his
It
body?
could have been his hair though that made it look like. And the final question, just to wrap this all up, is who is Pat Mcphee in essence?
Who is Pat Macfie in essence? I don't know, I never really thought about the answer to that question, but what are the qualities? Maybe chaotic, orderly, creative, hopeful, helpful, human. Just make mistakes, get shit wrong, celebrate, laugh, like, yeah. I don't know, bro. I didn't have so deep shit to give you chills on that, but just like, I'm a work in progress, brother.
Well, I think it's a work in progress that makes you so relatable and impactful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a journey. It's been incredible and an honor to be able to speak with you.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you so much. Can I give you a hug?
Yeah.